Who roots for BYU?
Do we need to say it, or can we just skip?
People who were chased out of New York and any other state they lived in before settling in Utah. We're talking about the Mormons.
Yes.
And soaking. Shout out soaking.
Shout out soaking.
They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
dogs.
dogs.
You know that?
They were eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good market.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years and just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan. You know, I keep saying I'm going to change the intro, and then I just don't.
Welcome back to another week in sport.
We're back, another week in college football in the offseason. But, Kieran, you will notice I did update our background.
Yes, very cool.
It is no longer just our logo, where you can't even see the name of the podcast. Now you can see it on the screen if you're just scrolling. So I think that'll help. But I had to keep the cooler on there, so that's in the bottom. Karen, have you been on our Twitter lately also?
Yep.
I updated our header on Twitter too.
Perfect.
So we're making updates. We're changing things, just not the things that might be able to get us sued. How are you doing, Kieran?
I'm doing well. Ready for another episode.
Me too. And Kieran, I think this is going to be our messiest episode ever.
Yes, it's going to be chaos.
And not in terms of what we say, what we do, production. In terms of the things we're talking about, it is so messy.
Yeah, it's caused by too many moving pieces, and it's not our fault. We're just having to react to it. Well, not react to it, but we have to explain it.
Yes. And probably the messiest news that has come out of college football in a while. Nico Iamaleava. That's also not a joke. I'm not positive pronunciation, but he reportedly asked Tennessee for $4 million a year. Not worth it. He's not that good. His dad was shopping him around to other schools. Dan Lanning, Oregon's head coach, ratted them out to Josh Heupel. He didn't show up to practice, and then nobody was giving him the $4 million he was asking for. And once he hit the portal, now there are reports that actually he has committed to UCLA, even though UCLA just got a transfer quarterback from App State, Joey Aguilar, whose reps are now looking for a new landing spot. Kieran, what were your thoughts on the Nico situation?
It was the culmination of the transfer portal and the NCAA not doing enough to stop this kind of craziness, and guys going out and biting off more than they can chew. This is a classic case of being influenced very much by his dad. At least that's what it appears from my end. Being influenced by his dad, trying to get more money, not really worth it. There's quarterbacks exactly like him or better that don't cost that much. The NIL deals aren't worth that much, things like that. So it was a complete fluke. You would need to be like the absolute all-star of your class in order to garner that kind of pay. Carson Beck got it at Florida, but like, let's be real, that's only because he was at Georgia for 2-3 years and he did really well. Like, that's it.
He did fine.
Fine. That's you're right. That's a bit of a leap to call it good.
He showed flashes, and I think Miami was looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up getting Carson Beck to then cheat on his girlfriend, who also went to Miami. Still insane.
Yeah.
We can't have the messiest episode ever without bringing up the Carson Beck situation. But I feel like
the messiest episode for the messiest face.
Yeah. For the last couple of years, though, I feel like we've been hearing Nico is the next thing. He's a Heisman hopeful. He's going to light up the world. He's going to lead Tennessee back to prominence. And then he just didn't do much. Like, yeah, he beat Alabama, which is great for him, not for me. But he's not worth $4 million. You can find someone to do just what he did. And I don't buy his family's excuse now. They're saying, oh, well, it was the offense. It had nothing to do with the payment. And some people are saying, well, they said $4 million to Tennessee to either get the bag, knowing they were going to leave anyway. It's like, hey, if you give us this $4 million, we'll stay, but we really don't want to be here. And my question about that, though, is you wait until the spring portal after committing to a Josh Heupel coach team, after playing for a Josh Heupel coach team, and going into the offseason knowing Josh Heupel was not being fired after leading them to the college football playoffs. And if you were, per reports, threatening to sit out of the playoffs, why would it not be about the money? Do you see anything pointing to this being something besides money?
No, it's a naked power grab or money grab in this case. Where it's like it's stupid to call it anything else when the writing is as clear as day. There's no other reason for it.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And a couple years ago, actually over a decade ago now, God, we're old.
And the realization sets in.
Sorry, I needed a moment. But when Cam Newton had his issues at Florida, transferred to community college, was going back to the D1 level, looking at other SEC schools, his dad was shopping him around, allegedly without Cam's knowledge in getting money. That's 100% what Big Nick Iamaleava would have been doing. So the fact that it's at the NIL era means Nico's very lucky that he doesn't have to deal with this because his father 100% would have been taking checks.
Mm-hmm.
And UCLA, congrats, you got a quarterback. I think it's about the nicest you could say about him, a former 5-star.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like the thing about his dad is absolutely true. It's weird. It's all from the perception of I think pretty much people like our level, like fans of college football. This just looks like the dad is just taking advantage of his son's, I don't want to say stardom because that gives off the wrong impression, but essentially like his value as of right now. And the dad is cashing in, which is the worst type of manipulation. And like if this was a manager doing it, you'd always be like, yeah, I know he's sleazy and he's gonna take, whatever % off the top. But like to have your own dad be the one who's taking the checks and cashing them, oh, that must hurt.
Yeah, and I saw someone on Twitter say he's LeVar Ball without the charisma.
Yes. Oh my God, that's absolutely true. I was gonna bring that up too. LeVar Ball without the brand.
Yeah, say what you want about LeVar Ball. I think he did kind of soak up the spotlight a little too much. But I think at the end of the day, he did want what was best for his kids. And he was funny.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, he still is funny. Nico's dad, I don't think cares about what's best for Nico.
Mm-hmm. I
think he cares about what's best for him. And I also saw someone say, because the issue with Josh Heupel, per the Iamaleava camp, is the offense does not develop people or prepare people for the NFL, so they're draft stalkers. And I saw someone point out, he got Joe Milton drafted, that offense, which is a miracle unto God. So I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's just going to get messier.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like even I think we were talking on Wednesday about how like you had mentioned that once contracts start to come into this, college football is officially dead. And it was not even 24 hours later when this whole story broke. It was like Thursday morning or whatever. And you're just like, all right, well, there it is. I mean, we are predicting things on this show that simply happen tomorrow. So we can just make whatever statement we want now, Kev.
Yeah. And I mean, you're right. I did say that it would be dead. So there's your show. Podcast's over. Everyone have a good week. No, it's sad. I hate seeing it. I hate what our beautiful sport has become, but it's not great, Kieran. It's the current state of affairs in college football is not great. I would also like to point out a couple things. Des Bryant said, I was saying on a space the other day that this college, they're going to blacklist him.
Yeah.
And collude to keep out. No, they're going to collude because every person's going to go, $4 million for this? No, thank you.
Yeah.
If that's collusion, okay.
Yeah. $4 million for a quarterback that we can easily get right out of high school that has no idea what the value is. Yeah, we'll be okay.
Yeah. Breaking news, Kieran. The NFL has colluded against Dan Orlovsky by not signing him to a contract.
Of course.
Because apparently if you're just not good enough for your pay, they're colluding against you. Yeah, so there's more to this story. Ryan Clark said the fans don't matter. People are just talking, which we are too. But
yeah, to say that the fans don't matter is such a cop-out sentence because sorry, just to briefly interject here, without the fans, you guys have nothing. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. The whole thing about college football is this, and I've mentioned this before on the podcast, is this kind of tribal nature that you kind of stick with your guys, your team through thick and thin. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. You're going to support them. And you're going to support the guys who are on the field playing. And if you don't think that the fans absolutely matter in any situation, either a transfer coming in, a transfer leaving, you are out of your mind. Because if Cal or whatever plays Tennessee, I know that's a long shot. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But if they ever play and Nico's the quarterback, they're going to be showering boos on him.
Yeah, and I think I would love it if UCLA and Tennessee match up in a bowl game next year. That would just be so poetic justice. But no, and I think there is some truth to that when it comes to the threats that some of these kids get, especially kickers after missing a kick.
Yeah, that's
if you just want to say like the fans don't matter in your day-to-day life, yeah, that's more than fair. Focus on your job, focus on what you have to do. Saying the fans don't matter at all when you're trying to get money based off of how many fans you have. What are we talking about, Ryan?
Yeah. I mean, literally the UC Boulder and Prime matchup is a perfect example of this. Absolutely barren stadiums, nothing going for it. Now Dion can get whomever he wants in the portal. You know why? Because people are willing to throw in the money for the NIL. The school is, the sponsors are, everybody's looking, going, oh, great, Dion's here, he'll bring in this top talent. Granted, they didn't do brilliantly last year, but like certainly it has an effect that the fans absolutely matter.
Yeah, and I mean, the Dion, clearly they didn't do great, but Shedeur and Travis did enough to get their jerseys retired, apparently.
Perfect segue.
I appreciate you bringing it up. For those who did not see, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter will have their jerseys retired at the spring game for Colorado. Travis, Heisman Trophy winner, electric player. If you want to go, hey, Heisman Trophy winners, we're going to work on retiring your jersey. I think right after is a little weird. Maybe like subtly retire it, kind of say, we don't give that jersey out. And then, a year or two down the road, you retire it. What did Shedeur do besides coming out of Deion's balls to get his jersey retired?
I genuinely have no idea. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, talk about putting the cart before the horse. I mean, it's just literally the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, it's insane. And also, there's other players who have played for Colorado to wear number 2. Deion Figures. A lot of people are pointing out him, who wore number 2. National championship, Jim Thorpe Award, Jack Tatum Award, Consensus All-American, Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year, Big 8 Defensive Newcomer of the Year, first team All Big 8, second team All Big 8. He did have a 5-year NFL career, so it wasn't great in the NFL. But why are we retiring Shedeur's number 2 instead of Deion Figures number 2?
I have no words. It's purely publicity stunt. Like, they went 13-12 or whatever for their record. I think that was like the statistic or whatever. And like ridiculous numbers. It just you haven't done anything that is substantial to that school whatsoever.
Yeah, and people also are pointing out, like, Colorado fans, oh, well, if Shedeur didn't go there, then they wouldn't be getting any recruits. Travis Hunter wouldn't have gone there. Well, yeah, Travis Hunter would have still gone there if Deion was the coach.
Yeah.
A lot of these recruits would have gone there if Deion Sanders was their coach. And I think it's more sinister than that, Kieran. One of the first steps to becoming a dictator or a cult leader, whichever you want to say, is you change history to what you want it to be. You argue against the generally accepted history of a country, a group of people, or just, whatever random wayward teenagers think. And you tell them an alternative history, a better history, where they can feel good about themselves. And Deion's doing that. He's ignoring that Colorado has a national championship, that they have players who are not his sons or that he wishes were their sons. And just saying this is Colorado football. Ignoring anything else. Yeah, Colorado was not great when Deion got there. Bad, actually. Is probably a better way to put it. God awful. Probably the worst team I've ever seen. But they still have a history. And to erase that for your son, who is a fine NFL prospect, he's a first-round pick, the results in the field did not show that. His play did, but the Colorado results did not show it. And retiring his jersey so quickly is insane.
Yeah, it's insulting, honestly. It's insulting to the university as well. It's just like, yeah, my son played like a couple games and did mediocre. Let me just enshrine his jersey forever. If the minute Deion leaves CU, they're going to unretire that jersey so fast just because they're just be like, we're not doing this. All right, we put up with it while he was a coach here, but no more.
Oh, I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff like that he's going to implement, and they're immediately going to get rid of once he's gone. I'm also surprised he didn't try to retire Shiloh's number, even though Shiloh is abysmal. That would have been hilarious. Then everyone probably would have been against this. But yeah, I got worked up about that. Probably more worked up than I should have been. And we I
don't think you got worked up enough.
I can't scream in my apartment, but I would have been. I was going to list dictators, but I was like, that's a little too far.
Yeah. I was going to say, when you were talking about like changing history, I'm like, oh, we're about to get real political real fast.
Nope. It's just that's something they do.
Yep. We cut off at accusing communists. That's about it.
That's it. Speaking of communism, Jadyn Ott, Cal running back, one of like 5 Cal running backs to transfer in the last 48 hours, has transferred to the University of Oklahoma. And that's a shame. He defected to the land of capitalism. And for someone who said, I'm not effing leaving all the time, and who Cal fans made a song parody of Hot to Go for Jadyn Ott, to suddenly leave at the first chance after having a good year is kind of insulting.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
It really, really not great. Kieran, you added this topic.
Yeah, well, we're on the transfer portal and everything. So Northwestern quarterback Mike Wright re-enters the transfer portal previously at Vandy and Mississippi State. I don't know what he thinks he's going to be doing, because he's like no Cam Ward or anything like that, where he's going to be picked first round or whatever. He had a solid 2022 season. But other than that, I mean, this is one of those things where he's just going to be in college for 7 to 10 years and just milk it for his entire time, and then just not get drafted.
If he was at like Vanderbilt and then Northwestern and Stanford or something,
yeah,
I would go milk it, get those good degrees, and go into your post-football life, set up for success. But then Mississippi State,
yeah, I mean,
really just throws that all out the window.
This is very much a pick. This is a great case of don't just pick schools because they say you're going to play you. You are actually going to school for a degree. I know it's the last thing on your mind. And if you had just gone to Vandy and then to Northwestern, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fine. Like you said, get the degrees. But stop just belly flopping all over the place, hoping to land number one somewhere. It's not going to happen. You either need to solidify yourself at one school or be good enough to make a step up to, and I know Vandy's an SEC program, but to a better SEC program.
A real SEC program. One that's
SEC
not
program.
there to raise the conference GPA.
Exactly, right? It's like you are still going to school. You're clearly not cut out, or you seem like you're not cut out for the big time, which is fine. Not a lot of them are. Most people don't make it, just FYI. But get a degree from one of those institutions so you'll be set up for the long haul. This constant back and forth with the transfer portal, it's killing these kids. And I mean that in the most sincere way, because like if you were committed to a school, right, you were committed to 3-4 years, whatever, you got a degree, you didn't get a degree. The good ones left it 3 years and made it into the NFL with millions. The guys who didn't, they were set up. They had something back up. And I feel like we're returning to this topic way too often, but it's so prevalent now. And it's just like, you're just a regular at a transfer portal. That's all you are now, is just like, oh yeah, I have another year of eligibility because of X. And it's all stemming from the COVID.
Yeah, and did he expect to play at Northwestern? Like, I understand Northwestern's not good, but he started 2 games and didn't throw a touchdown. Yeah.
His literal stat line for 2024 was 354 yards, no TDs, 1 interception, and a 28.6 QBR. I have seen better stat lines. I could probably do a better stat line given an entire season, but the mere fact of the matter is, it's like, Northwestern's a good school. Like, academically wise, it's a good school. Even if you are QB2, you'll at least, I don't know, make something. Just do anything. Jeez.
Yeah, and also, if you want to add in there, he did originally commit to UCF and then flipped to Vandy.
Oh, God.
So we'll add a 5th school on there with whatever school he's going to go to next.
It's wild. All right.
It's insane. Moving on to our last topic before the big one, the fun one. Kenni Burns, after being put on administrative leave, has been terminated. That happened after we recorded on Wednesday.
As per usual.
And Kent State, though, is being very hush-hush about what he did. They're just citing ethics violations. I did see one person on Twitter who had like 30 followers, so take it with a grain of salt, who did say it was gambling related, and he just was a fiend.
All right. You know, for in terms of ethics violations,
not the
worst. That's all we're gonna say. Not the worst.
Shut out, Mel Tucker.
There you go.
He could have done worse. You know, a little $5 parlay never hurt anyone.
No. Running up a second mortgage to pay off the loan shark. Yeah, I mean, it's only hurting you. So
yeah, and he had to have been betting against Kent State, right?
100%, yeah.
And I'm not even saying he threw games.
No, he just knew his players were so shit they couldn't perform.
He had to have been watching practice and just on his phone. It's $20 on the other team this week.
What's the over-under here?
Whatever it is, take the over.
Yeah, how many points are we going to concede?
Yeah, take the over, but they're going to score all the points. He has put out a statement on Twitter, by the way.
Oh.
My family, he did this 5 days ago. My family and I are saddened by the news today. We are thankful for the relationships and connections we have made with the players, coaches, and staff for the past few years. The team bond we have is not transactional, but that of a family. Kent grit will bind us forever, and for that I am thankful. I'm proud of you all, and we will be rooting for you this season and beyond. Coach Kenni Burns and family, grit. What are you proud of? What have you seen to make you proud?
Let's hope it's off the field extracurricular activities like donating your time or volunteering your time at a soup kitchen. That would make you proud.
Highest GPA in team history, 2.4.
Legend.
I
rough.
love it in school. That's not a Kent State thing. Texas did that a few years ago. And I like hockey teams do it too, and it's just all so funny. But yeah, so I think he should have been fired after wearing like a shirt that said basically it was like can't get much worse, 1-11, or will be better, 1-11, and then going 0-12.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
He should have been fired for cause for that.
Oh, that's good.
It's not great, Kieran. Not great to be a Kent State fan these days. But there are people who have gone to Kent State, Kieran, who could return them to prominence. I'm talking about Nick Saban.
Oh, perfect.
The only school I would be okay to watch him return to coaching for.
Oh, that would be electric.
Any other school, I'd be unbelievably upset. Kent State, need it. I need it like I need air to breathe.
As the AD, I would get on the phone and just go, look, he can only say no. Listen, Nick. How would you feel coming out of retirement for just one last run at glory?
Honestly, if he got that team to a bowl game.
Oh, savior.
Yeah. Only cements his legacy as a great. Some imbeciles would be like, well, he didn't do that great at Kent State. Yeah, it was at Kent State.
Yeah.
He got them to a bowl game. That's a miracle.
Yeah, nothing short of. Canonize that man.
Is there a patron saint of football?
Ooh, good question. I don't know.
He is Catholic.
Possibly. Oh, I was just making a joke. I didn't actually
know. No, I'm not. Okay, it says soccer. But soccer / football.
No.
Catholic saint medals, saints related to patrons of sports. Saint Sebastian is the patron of sports, I guess.
Okay.
I'm looking for a particular sport. That's soccer. I don't think they have one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So, all right. Nick Saban, patron saint of football, American football.
Yes.
But, Kieran, it's time for the reason why this is going to be such a messy episode. We're doing the history of the Big 12.
Yeah.
And who roots for them, their teams, all that. But we're going to jump in real quick to this disaster. And we have to take 10 detours. The Big 12 was founded in February of 1994 as 8 members of the Big 8 Conference joined with half of the Southwest Conference members, Baylor, Texas, Texas A&M, and Texas Tech, to form the Big 12, beginning play in 1996. But the Big 8 was founded in 1907 as the Missouri Valley Intercollegiate Athletic Association. And all's great. Things are moving. We got athletic conferences. You had schools like Drake, Grinnell College, Iowa State, University of Kansas, Kansas State, Missouri, Nebraska, Oklahoma A&M, which became Oklahoma State, and Washington University in St. Louis. But then in 1928, all the big schools, so everyone but Drake, Grinnell, Oklahoma State actually, and Washington University in St. Louis all left to start their own conference, but they took the Missouri Valley Intercollegiate Athletic Association name. So those remaining schools got some others and became the Missouri Valley Conference, which does still exist today. So there was some confusion when I was doing this. So if we get anything wrong, this is a disaster from start to finish. Not us, the Big 8 /Southwest / Missouri Valley Intercollegiate Athletic Association. So have some grace, but they officially went by that name, the MVIAA, until 1964, actually. They unofficially were the Big 6 from 28 to 48, the Big 7 from 48 to 57, and then the unofficial Big 8 from 57 to 64, 1964, formally becoming the Big 8 Conference. Initially, Colorado and Nebraska were in the Big 12. Colorado left to join the Pac-12. Nebraska left to join the Big 10 in 2011. Then Missouri and Texas A&M moved to the SEC. TCU and West Virginia joined. Then, past 2 years, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF joined, along with Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah after Texas and Oklahoma left. And then Colorado also rejoined. So, quick rundown of the teams. Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Central Florida, Cincy, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and TCU, Texas Tech, Utah, and West Virginia. Kieran, that was a shit show.
Did you get all that, listener? No, because I didn't either.
And I texted this to him earlier.
I know. I read it, and I was still confused.
Oh my... Imagine trying to understand it to write this spreadsheet in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, like, when we did the ACC, we had a couple teams come in, the likes of Cal, SMU, Stanford, things like that. The Big 12, thank God we did it early, because this is a complete cluster of just all over the map. Nothing is consistent. Everything changes about every 10 years. So, God forbid we try our best here.
Yes. And we're giving the history of these conferences, so I didn't necessarily want to say, well, they joined the Big 12 in 1994, or they joined the Big 8 in 1928. So I'm going back to whatever the predecessor is that we can point to, and they joined. That's when we're saying they joined the conference. Mm-hmm. Both also keeping it messy. The Big 12 and the Missouri Valley Conference both claim the MVIAA history prior to 1928. So just in case you thought like, oh, maybe like the Missouri Valley Conference will say they're new because they didn't keep the name. Nope. Like, that's our history. Get out of here. All right. First up, one of the newest members, Arizona State, joined in 2024. They have won Big 12 championship this past one. They have an overall record of 643, 425, and 24. Bowl wins and losses, 15, 17, and 1. No Heismans, no claimed national championships. Kieran, who roots for Arizona State?
Anybody who likes to party. That school is a party school. That's what it's known for. I mean, they've got a lazy river in the middle of one of their dorm layouts. So yeah.
I was gonna say drug addicts too.
Yeah, drug addicts. But we'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
Not exclusively cocaine, like the ACC schools.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird distinction that we need to make, but I feel like it's very prevalent for this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I know I've spoken to one person ever who went to Arizona State, and the one thing I remember about them is that they told me about the time they OD'd.
Fun. All right.
So, shout out Sun Devils. Forks up, baby. Next up, Iowa State. They were one of the founding members of the MVIAA, joining in 1908. They have no Big 12 championships. They're 560, 670, and 46 overall. 6-13 in bowl games. No wins. No Heismans. Farmers.
Yep. Farmers who don't like Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
not the state.
I have a different answer for Iowa, actually, for when we do the Big Ten. But,
okay.
Yeah. Farmers. Anyone else?
No, Farmers. There's not much else there. Sorry, Iowa, but
yeah, I also feel like Iowa State gives off more farmer vibes than.
Yeah, it definitely does.
All right, next up, BYU joined in 2023. No championships. 628, 446, and 7 overall. 18-22 and 1 in bowl games. They have one claimed national championship in 1984, and they have one Heisman Trophy winner, Ty Detmer. Kieran, who roots for BYU?
Do we need to say it, or can we just skip?
People who were chased out of New York and any other state they lived in before settling in Utah. We're talking about the Mormons.
Yes.
And soaking. Shout out soaking.
Shout out soaking. Oh, that's good.
All right, next up, Colorado. They joined in 1948 when it was the Big 8, but then they left for the Pac-12. Then they rejoined the Big 12 in 2024. They have 0 Big 12 championships. They have a record of 728, 545, and 36 overall. They are 12-17 in bowl games. They have one claimed national title in 1990. They have 2 Heisman winners, Rashaan Salam in 1994 and Travis Hunter in 2024. Kieran, who roots for Colorado?
Skiers and anybody who's a fan of Prime.
That's fair. I was also going to say anyone who's an offspring of Prime. And people who like weed.
All right, we're getting a lot of drug references.
Regardless of where they live, I feel like a lot of people who like weed just like Colorado and then would just say, I root for the University of Colorado.
Because I can get weed out there. That's it.
Yeah. Also, it bothers me that they're the University of Colorado, but all their stuff says CU, like Colorado University.
Yeah.
Bothers me. All right. Next up, Baylor joined the Southwest Conference in 1915. They have 10 conference championships, but only 3 Big 12. They have a 630, 607, and 44 record. They are 14-14 in bowl games. No national championships. 1 Heisman Trophy winner, RG3 in 2011. Cultists root for Baylor. Waco, Texas, shout out. I don't know who else, Kieran.
I'll tell you who else. Anybody who's fan of Jeff Dunham, notable alumni of Baylor University. Which is a lot of people because he's a funny dude.
That's true. All right. Cultists and Jeff Dunham fans. Perfect. Anyone else, or are we good to move on?
I think we're good.
All right. Next up, Texas Tech joined the Southwest Conference in 1960. They have 11 conference championships, none of them Big 12, 597, 481, and 32 overall, 17, 23, and 1 in bowl games. No Heismans, no Natties. Patrick Mahomes fans, Kermit the Frog, basically.
Yes. Yeah, Kermit the Frog, and anybody who, any girls who thought Patrick Mahomes was hot because he was the number one quarterback in the league.
That's true. Oh, also sexy coaches.
Oh, was this that whole thing last year? Or am I getting the wrong
No,
numbers?
Cliff Kingsbury was the coach of
Oh, yeah.
Texas Tech at one point. And I'm going to be honest. Yeah. Nah, he's pretty hot. As a straight man.
I understand.
Would.
It would.
Yeah.
It would. That's
if only I weren't married. I'm sorry, Cliff. I know you're going to be upset.
That's great.
I can't wait till my wife listens to this. Next up, K-State joined the MVIAA in 1913. They have 4 conference championships, 3 of them in the Big 12, 579, 675, and 41 overall, 12 and 14 in bowl games. No wins in the Natty, no Heisman Trophy winners. People who were trying to go to New York, but got confused and went to the wrong Manhattan.
Yeah, they typed in Manhattan in Colorado, and it sent them there.
Yeah, I think that's really it.
Anybody who likes Bill Snyder, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Taco Bell fans.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Anyone who likes beefy 5-layer burritos.
How could we miss that? That was
the
most prevalent recent topic.
Pivotal moments in world history. A guy shoving a beefy 5-layer burrito up his butt. Next up, West Virginia joined in 2012, not 1912. No championships, 783, 528, and 45 overall, 1723 in bowl games. No natties, no Heismans. I have notes, like weird facts about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wrote Rich Rod for West Virginia. And I don't know, Kieran, who roots for the Mountaineers?
I'll tell you who roots for the Mountaineers. Anybody from the Appalachia area, or who is a minor for Cole, or who what was the other thing I was just going to say? Or anybody that likes true country folk music. That's who roots for West Virginia.
That's true. I was going to say coal miners, arsonists as well. West Virginia, the University of West Virginia does have a big tradition of burning couches whenever West Virginia wins a big game. And I also feel like people who don't like shaving. That's Mountaineers.
Okay,
going to be in the wilderness. That you don't got time to shave when you're trying to catch your dinner.
Fair enough.
And apparently my cat, who won't shut up. Because she's yapping up a storm when we're trying to talk about West Virginia. Next up, Kansas joined the MVIAA in 1907. They have 10 conference championships, none of them in the Big 12. They're 608, 685, and 58 overall, 7-7 in bowl games. And, of course, they have that electric 2007 season where they got as high as number 2 in the country. Kieran, who roots for Kansas?
Basketball fans who forgot to leave and stayed for the football as well.
That's fair. I also think, you're 100% not wrong. People who went into a coma on November 23rd, 2007, before they lost to Missouri and got knocked out of the number 2 spot. That just happened to wake up. But yeah, I think that's really it. Maybe my dad, because he lives in Kansas now for some reason. Moving to Kansas, it was such a stupid decision.
Does he? I hope he listens to this.
I don't think he does. I can say whatever I want about him. Kansas is such a dumb state. I don't like Kansas.
Oh boy, we are going to get a lot of hate from Kansas. All 4 people that live there.
Oh, they got someone?
We got him, boys.
I thought it was just my dad, his wife, and their neighbor down the street. I didn't know there were more. And, of course, neighbor down the street, meaning someone 17 miles away.
Is that really true?
No. There's just no one in Kansas. Oh, he lives in, like, a big town.
Oh, all right.
Next up, Cincinnati joined in 2023. No conference championships, 667, 615, and 50 in their history. 10 and 12 in bowl games. That note is out of date. They were in the Missouri Valley Conference from 1957 to 69, but not the MVIAA, the fake small one. So who roots for Cincinnati, Kieran?
Anybody who likes Cinderella stories once in a blue moon, or anybody who likes either of the Kelsey brothers.
That's true. I was also going to say anyone in Ohio who wants to be different and not root for Ohio State, but still wants to watch competent football.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because Toledo and Akron aren't doing jack.
Kent State as
well.
University of Ohio is not terrible, so you have that option too. But they're 5. So,
do you want a school who wears red and or black and is at least exciting to watch football any given Saturday, but you don't quite live in Cincinnati and people would get mad at you because you live closer to another institution? Yeah, they're your team.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Houston. They joined the Southwest Conference in 1976. They left that for Conference USA and then rejoined in, I don't have the year. They rejoined in 2023 or 2024. One of the two. They have 4 Southwest Conference. I do this at work. 4 Southwest Conference titles. No Big 10 or Big 12, excuse me. They are 476, 402, and 15 in their history. They are 13, 16, and 1 in bowl games. They have no national championships. They have 1 Heisman winner, Andre Ware, in 1989. They were also in the Missouri Valley Conference, but not the MVIAA. Who roots for Houston, Kieran? I don't know if I have one.
I'll only say this, and it's only based on hearsay because I've never actually visited Houston. But people who want to drive an hour and still be in the same area that they were an hour ago. So essentially net velocity is 0.
That's fair. Basketball fans, but not like great basketball fans.
All right.
I feel like that's sort of I don't want to say the limit, but like Houston's good every couple of years. They're better now, but
anybody who likes a mid team.
That's
a mid team. A mid team who wins games fairly consistently. Like they're not facing down the Alabamas of the world, but they'll certainly knock off like an Oklahoma every now and again, just randomly. Those types of schools, those type of fans, the fans are like, yeah, I just watch for shits and giggles.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Utah joined in 2024. They have no championships, 723, 42, and 31 overall, 17 and 9 in bowl games. No claim national titles, no Heisman Trophy winners. Do you live in Utah, but you're not Mormon?
Yep.
Utah Utes. Do you like geriatric starting quarterbacks at the collegiate level? Utah Utes. Do you like coaches who have been at their school for probably way too long? Utah Utes or the Iowa Hawkeyes? Take your pick.
I could not have said it better myself. I think I was going to use all those same examples.
Perfect. The fact Whittingham's been there for 20 years is wild. Next up, UCF joined in 2023. No Big 12 titles. 291, 241, and 1 in their program history. They're a relatively old program, or young program. They started, I think, 1976.
Wow.
They are 6 and 9 in bowl games. They have 1 claimed national title in 2017. Again, claimed. I'm not stating the validity of it because this title is obviously bullshit. No Heisman Trophy wins. Kieran, who roots for UCF?
The kids that were told, "Oh, you're special" once and believed it.
Yeah,
I mean, they have that 1 claimed national championship, and suddenly they are holier than thou.
Yeah. Also, I think people who like space. Florida, Orlando. But yeah, no, I think you're more right. Also, contrarians. If you feel the need to argue and disagree with whatever someone says,
yeah, that's really true. That is very on brand.
UCF. Oh, Alabama won the national title in 2017. Actually, UCF was the only undefeated team in this publication nobody's heard of who can determine the national championship for some reason. Said it was UCF. So next up, TCU. In 1923, they joined the Southwest Conference. They left in 1995 after the announcement of the Pac or the Big 12, and then they rejoined in 2012. They have 10 Southwest Conference titles, 1 Big 12 title. They're 685, 574, and 57 overall. 19-16-1 in bowl games. They have 2 claimed national titles, one in 1935, one in 1938, and they also got a Heisman Trophy winner in 1938, Davey O'Brien. Do you like gingers? Do you like the Irish people and my lovely co-host here? Well, TCU is the place for you.
Absolutely. I will add to that. Do you like frogs? TCU is the school that you want to go with. It's the perfect school for those lovely little creatures, the horned frogs, also known as Ceratophorus. I think I'm pronouncing that right in Latin. It's Latin name.
That was better than what I was going to say. Are you sexually attracted to frogs, TCU?
Sexually
remember when they were making their playoff run and frogs make me horny?
Yeah.
How Christian is TCU?
Very, I think. I mean, it's literally called Texas Christian University.
But, all right. Liberty is Christian.
Yeah.
They're like, you can't, if you're a man, you can't look at a woman. If you're a woman, you can't look at a man. Also, if you're a man, you can't look at another man because that's gay. That's liberty.
Yeah.
Is TCU that Christian?
I don't believe so. Or if they are, they're a lot more liberal about it.
TCU does not seek to impose a particular religious, this is AI, by the way, but does not seek to impose a particular religious point of view, but rather challenges students to consider their beliefs. They offer a wide range of religious groups and student organizations, including Jewish and Muslim student associations.
Yeah.
So,
friendly.
Yeah. Pretty cool Christians.
Yeah, cool all guys.
Right. Arizona joined in 2024. 0 Big 12 titles, 636, 502, and 33 overall. They are 10, 11, and 1 in bowl games. No natties, no Heisman Trophy winners. Can you read?
Do you have a pulse?
Well, you can read. Sorry, root for another school. You cannot convince me that Rob Gronkowski knows how to read.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Arizona. Also basketball fans?
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Yeah. Do you also not like the color maroon or yellow? Arizona.
Do you also like to party? Arizona.
Do you like to party, but not as a pompous dick? Arizona.
Partiers for the common man.
Yes.
All right. Last school on the list. Oklahoma State. They initially joined the Southwest Conference in 1915. Then they joined the MVIAA in 1925. Then everyone else in the MVIAA left, but they stayed as it became the MVC. Then they joined the Big 8 in 1960, and then obviously merged the Southwest Conference. Big full circle moment for the Cowboys. They have 2 Big 12 championships. They're 640, 581, and 48 overall. They're 22-12 in bowl games. They have 1 claimed national title in 1945. I feel like 10 schools claimed national titles in 1945, by the way.
Probably.
Like, I think
nobody was going to check them.
That's true. They had more important things to deal with. And then They won Heisman Trophy winner Barry Sanders.
Legend.
Do you like driving drunk? No. Canada, who roots for Oklahoma State?
I'll tell you. It's dads who love or who envy the days of the running back / cornerback that hit harder than the offensive line or defensive line. And the kind of glory days of the 1980s. That's who roots for OK State. They're like, oh, I remember when those guys, boomers, essentially.
That's fair. Yeah, people who like mullets too. I know you already said the 80s, but like mullets.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
I feel like mullet lovers should root for Oklahoma State in solidarity with their mulleted brother, Micah.
Love it.
I wish I could have a mullet.
Wife or work?
Wife. She thinks it look ridiculous, and I'm sure if I did it, it'd be fine, but I'm not going to do that to her.
Yeah. The thing about me is I would like to grow my hair out and kind of see how it looks when it gets back there. But I have this thing where I just hate long hair. I hate having to deal with it. And I'm just like, it looks cool from afar. And that's as close as I'm going to get to it because I just hate the idea of long. Like my hair gets, a little bit longer than this. I'm like, off to the barbers.
Yeah, it's because the Catholic school beat it out of you.
No, I genuinely don't like it on me. It's not even that. It's
called like indoctrination, Kieran.
It's all subliminal. It's all up here.
Yeah. No, long hair is great.
All right. Well,
I'm too lazy to get a haircut. That's why.
All right. That's different. All right. We're going to go real quick. Last little bit of topic. This was a little bit more difficult to do than the ACC because the ACC had like more consistent members. This is kind of all over the map. So it was kind of difficult to do this, but this is the best I got. So Drug U, i.e. Marijuana U, UC Boulder, ASU, Arizona, and West Virginia, because God forbid we leave those guys out. My second grouping is rivalries and little brothers. Kansas State. That seems like an obvious one. You could arguably, Kansas is definitely the little brother. You could claim whether that's a rivalry or not. It's fine. I mean, Arizona State, Arizona again. I would argue that rivalry kind of goes back and forth, and it's really about 2 to 3 years that one school's the little brother to the other. Utah BYU, very obvious one. They both share the same local city. Provo, Utah. Oklahoma State and they went to the SEC. and Iowa State, which is the permanent little brother of Iowa. My third category is misfits / wannabes, and that is exclusively owned by UCF because they're just trying anything to stay relevant. Then we have Kelsey University, which is, of course, Cincinnati. And then we have Battle of the Plains. And it's everyone except Utah, BYU, Colorado, and West Virginia. And of those additional 4, pretty much Utah, BYU, and Colorado are all on a plain, but it is high in the mountains. So I kind of was like, oh, where do you draw the line? Because if you look at any photo from either Utah or BYU, it's just the school and then mountains in the background. Now they're already up high enough. So that's that. The last category I have is affiliates. And so there are a bunch of schools that are affiliate members for one sport in the Big 12. And this includes the Air Force, Cal Baptist, Missouri, Northern Colorado, Northern Iowa, North Dakota State, Oklahoma, South Dakota State, Utah Valley, and Wyoming. And it's all for wrestling because they're big old farmers.
That's fair. Is that it? I feel like sometimes the most random sports are affiliate members.
No, there are other affiliates for various sports, and it gets weird after that. But I do have one final group that I kind of didn't add, and it was schools that saw the writing on the wall and got the hell out of Dodge, which is everybody who's moved. So Missouri, Lincoln University of Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, and Texas A&M.
That's fair. Oh, Alabama, former affiliate member.
Yeah, women's rowing. Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very interesting. Where'd they go? Oh, they just went to the SEC.
And that's the other thing I have to say really quickly. I was reading through the affiliates and their members and things like that, and I saw the Big 12, kind of a very Midwest conference, and I saw rowing, and I was like, Old Dominion, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. That's on the coast, and then you see Tulsa, and I just thought to myself, they're in plains. Like there's a river, but like it's not exactly prime real estate for rowing.
That's true. I'm sure they have rivers. They have the Red River.
That's true.
Two things. Some people might be confused by your inclusion of UCF in the Battle for the Plains.
Yes.
Florida is very flat.
Yes, that's why I included it. It's dead flat. The elevation changes 3.
What, inches?
Millimeters.
Jeez. And second, speaking of mountains, have you ever been out to Colorado?
I have not, no.
So I went a couple years ago with my now wife, and the airport is a little bit outside the city, and we stayed at a hotel near the airport, but our room was facing the city, and we got in at like 2 a.m. And we got to the hotel, woke up, and it's very clear that the people who settled Denver got through the Great Plains, saw the mountains, and went, nah, here's good. And just didn't want to deal with that mess.
I don't blame them. I do not blame them. That's really funny.
So, all right. Well, there's your Big 12 history. Kieran, so I think we have 3 options for the next one.
The
SEC. Well, SEC, Big 10, and the rest. The rest being the independents, the Pac-2, and noteworthy group of 5 schools.
Let's do the Big 10 next.
All right.
A little bit more consistent.
That's fair. And also, I feel like we'll have more opinions about the next 2.
Yeah, very much so.
So, all right. Everyone have a good, safe, fun rest of your week. Be sure to check us out on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, at Quad Tailgate. Very important. I put these banners in, so now I want to.
I know. I saw them. I'm like, he's very proud of these.
I'm more proud of our background, to be honest. Also, check out Belly Up Sports. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network, and we love it here. So check them out at Belly Up Sports on all social media. And everyone have a good rest of your week.
See ya.
They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
dogs.
dogs.
You know that?
They were eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to this school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it though. I'm a big fan.